I'm here with Lisa Cornwell, who is an author, broadcaster, and host for PGA Tour Live. Thanks for your time, Lisa. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's good to be with you, Gavin.
Yeah, thank you. So, we're in January right now. Just tell me a little bit about, how the start to your year has been and just, how your holidays and years were.
Well, everything's been great. I'm actually, unfortunately, I'm in Florida where the weather is fantastic, but I'm
Yeah.
recovering from foot surgery.
Okay.
So I have not been able to pick up a club for almost 2 months now, and it's driving me crazy. This is the time of year when I really enjoy playing. It's not overly hot or humid, and it's my downtime. As you know, with the golf season sort of winding down and then picking back up, and I haven't been able to play. So
Yep.
I guess I can enjoy watching some golf right now.
Yeah. For you, how has it been just going through, injury, surgery, and just, for you also, how's it been, not being able to, pick up a club and just play golf? How's it been, going
Well,
through all that?
yeah, I'm a pretty active person, so it's been painstaking, not in the sense of the injury, but just, really being confined to my house, and I couldn't even
Yeah.
drive for a long time. Couldn't do yard work. So a lot of Netflix. And of course, there wasn't any golf on, but thankfully there was NFL and college football. Great game last night, by the way. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's been a good time of year to do it because I haven't had to travel for PGA Tour Live. So I don't know. It's the best of both worlds, I guess. It's nice to have some downtime, but I'm ready to get back after it.
Yeah. And you're a host for PGA Tour Live, so you cover a lot of the PGA Tour, a lot of golf. You've worked for other places broadcasting, but just the PGA Tour season started this past weekend. Chris Goddard won at the Sony Open, but just what did you think of the Sony Open, and just what do you think we can foresee with the upcoming PGA Tour season?
Well, I think every year, we get to Hawaii. Unfortunately, no Century this year at
Yeah,
Kapalua, but I mean, it was great to see the guys back in action. Obviously, a great win for Goddard, what a three-time winner now. So it's, I mean, they always say that second win's tough, but I mean, he's really established himself as a permanent fixture on tour, and he's a lot of fun to watch. He's different. He sets up to it a little differently, generates a ton of speed.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just a great way to kick things off. Obviously, American Express this week and the whole California swing gets going. My first event's Farmers, which I love. I love
uh-huh.
Torrey Pines. It's just such a great venue. So I'm telling you, it's hard to believe that we're here already. It's January and it's time to get off to the races.
Yeah. So with the new season starting, this week's Amex, then you have the Farmers Insurance just for you, because you get a little bit of downtime when the season ends. Just what do you look forward to the most when a new, golf season gets started?
I think it's little things. We heard Rory McIlroy in Dubai talking about the new clubs that he put in the bag, went to a cavity back. A great reminder for all of us, by the way, that we don't need to hit blades. Um, but just little things like that, caddy changes, swing changes. I think it's great this time of year to hear from coaches and manufacturing reps on what players are doing to get ready for this new season. So I just think it's we face this every January, right? Well, like we have some questions who got healthy in the off season. Thankfully, we're not having to worry about, Scotty or Jordan going through some unexpected surgeries. But
Yeah,
I just, there's so many great storylines. Obviously, Brooks Koepka coming back. I'm sure we'll get into that. But
yeah,
with every new year comes just new exciting storylines to follow in the world of golf.
yeah. And we have a new there's new things, a lot of things going on. We have a new CEO, Brian Roloff with the PGA Tour. Different things are going on with, Live, Brooks Koepka is going on. But, we're going to talk about storylines, but for you, looking up to the upcoming 2026 PGA Tour season, just what do you see as some of the storylines going into the season?
Boy, I mean, there are a lot. It's funny. Last night I was watching the college football finale between Indiana and Miami, and I saw my first Masters preview of the year. There was a little quick 10 or 15-second spot promoting it coming up in April. And, you think back to last year and when Rory captured the Grand Slam and the emotion that was involved. I'm really looking forward to his return not just on the course, but off it, to hear the interviews and maybe sort of the all of it coming full circle for him. I really think that this year at Augusta National will be a full circle moment for Rory. So I can't wait for that. I mean, obviously Brooks coming back. I'm excited about that storyline. We saw Justin Thomas, sort of the resurgence of him last year. That's great. What are we going to get from Jordan Spieth this year? I mean, that's each and every year we look forward to that. There's not a more exciting figure to watch in terms of Jordan Spieth out there on the golf course, and obviously hasn't played quite the same the last several years. So,
Yeah,
like he's still young, there's still a lot of time, but I don't know. We could sit here and talk, Gavin, all day long about storylines. Ben Griffin, what he did last year, will that continue? The new card set, the card structure at 100 versus 125. How will field sizes change, pace of play, and just the overall vibe? So I don't know. It's a new year, new question marks, but certainly we're in for a treat. There will definitely be some surprises, as there is each and every year. So it's just time to get going.
yeah. And you just mentioned, so you just reminded me, but Justin Thomas, he's, I believe, dealing with an injury, back surgery. So what do you think? Because I saw him win at Harbour Town last year, the Heritage. So just what do you think it'll be like not having Justin Thomas for a little bit of time?
Yeah, hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later. But I'm sure he knows from experience and his friends like Tiger who've had similar issues and injuries and procedures that you have to take your time. You don't want to come back too quickly. Um, when he's ready to come back, I still expect big things from Justin Thomas. I think what he went through, not only is it normal, but in a way, I think it will be good for him. He kind of had the career of just riding high, getting win after win quickly, multiple major winner, and then sort of dipped down a couple years ago, missed the postseason, and then saw last season sort of that resurgence and getting the confidence back. We saw that on the golf course, and I think long term that will pay dividends for him. I really do. As crazy as that sounds, golf is very difficult to sustain at a high level for your
Yeah,
entire career. I mean, obviously we saw it in Tiger, we're seeing it in Scotty Scheffler. They're anomalies though in the sport. It's very difficult to do.
yeah,
And I think that maybe it has taken a little bit of pressure off of Justin Thomas to know that he can have a little bit of that fall off and climb back to the top of the mountain. You mentioned Hilton Head. I mean, obviously a big moment. So
yeah,
just take his time and get back when he's healthy. But I'm sure he will make the right decision when he comes back. He'll be 100% ready to go and very eager to get back out with his coworkers there on the PGA Tour.
yeah. And this next question, it's not for any of us to decide. It's up to the player and things like that. But I wanted to get your perspective on this. For example, Colin Morikawa, I believe he this past week missed the cut at the Sony Open. He's been, a player who won, multiple. He won the PGA Championship, an Open Championship. We know he could be one of the top players, in the world in the game of golf. But he's dealt with some things, outside of, the golf course. He said, I believe it was Kapalua last year, said something about Hideki Matsuyama, then, lost at Arnold Palmer, didn't talk to the media, then said some things at the Players' Championship. So whether it be like an injury or whether it just be other things with the media, just how do you think a player, can deal with those things? Because we know Colin Morikawa can, just using him as an example, he can be one of the, best players in the world. Because, after those things at Arnold Palmer and Players, he kind of struggled at the Ryder Cup and things like that. So, just following the game of golf, how do you see that some of the players? Because Tiger Woods did it so great. He just went there, answered the media's questions, and then left. He didn't make there be any headlines in the newspaper the next day. So, just how do you think a player can deal with things going outside of the course, whether that be media, whether that be sponsors' obligations, or whether it be an injury, and just focus on their golf?
Yeah, I know it's been talked about widely, both in the media, social media. Obviously, social media has changed everything because now everybody gets to have a public opinion. Um, it's very easy, I think, to sit here and be critical of players like Colin Morikawa when things happen. You come out, you're critical. I try to give people a little bit of a pass because, like, we don't know what they're dealing with. I don't know what Colin Morikawa is dealing with off the golf
Yeah,
course. There could be a lot going on there. If it was a consistent thing, I think then maybe you could probably write a few more stories about it and it would garner bigger headlines, warranted in a way that's warranted. I don't know. Golf's hard, Gavin. Professional golf is tough and
Yeah,
expectations are brutal. And, it's easy for us to sit here and at our house and our computer, our big screen TV, or me on PGA Tour Live, and to throw shots at these guys for things that we don't like. Um, I don't know. It's hard. We'll see how he responds to it. I think that a lot of times these are opportunities for growth, and maybe this is an opportunity for growth for Colin, and he may
yeah,
take it as that, or it may have just been a bad moment. He may look back and say, you know what? I was really struggling mentally. I wasn't there. I was angry, and I was taking it out on the media. I don't know that we've really had those in-depth discussions with him to find out. But a lot of times I try to give them the benefit of the doubt when it doesn't continue to happen over and over and over. Look, I think that golf is better when players like Colin Morikawa are playing well. He doesn't fit that, he's the opposite of sort of the Brooks Koepka, sort of, this power guy, or even Goddard. We look at how he played. I mean, Morikawa is a small guy who doesn't hit it very far and plays a big cut. I mean, that doesn't
yeah,
really happen anymore in this modern game where these guys are all chasing distance. There's a lot about his golf game that I like. And as a fan of the game, I'm rooting for him to get back. And do I want to see him step up to the microphone when things don't go well? Absolutely. Um, am I ready to criticize him for what happened last year? No. Let's see how he responds this year, and hopefully it's just, it's a moment in time, and Colin learned from it, and people give him a little bit of a pass this year, and things sort of get back in order for him because he's such a great player.
yeah. Definitely well said, and I definitely agree with that. So another big headline going into this PGA Tour season, Brooks Koepka is going to be returning at your first tournament covering Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. He'll be coming back on the PGA Tour after playing the past few years at Live Golf. So just I just want to get your take. Like, what do you think the headlines will be? How do you think Brooks Koepka will deal with? 'Cause I'm sure there'll be some fanfare, some heckling, things like that that you have to deal with with going to live now coming back to the PGA Tour. So just what do you think the headline will be with Brooks Koepka coming back to the PGA Tour? And I saw this now covering college and amateur golf. Michael Lasasso, who won the NCAA national championship individual title last year. Today he just announced he's joining Live Golf. So the world of golf is changing every day. And we just have to adapt. Those of us who are fans or those of us who cover it. And so I just want your take on the whole situation.
Yeah, well, listen, you're asking someone who was very critical of these guys when this first happened. I mean, I
Yeah,
hated the whole idea of live from the get-go because it just
yeah,
created this huge divide in the game of golf. And I didn't then, and I still don't believe that Saudi Arabia's heart is in the right place.
yeah,
This is a grab for sports washing, and I've said that from day one. I still believe it. That being said, I think that some of my criticisms may have been a little harsh. I mean, look, these guys have their lives and careers, and it's their decision to make. Brooks coming back, I think, is great for the game of golf. It's great for the PGA Tour. It's great for fans. It's great for those of us in the media. I think it's probably, actually not probably, I'll throw that word out. It is definitely better that he's coming back this year than he did even a year or two ago, because I think that people have softened to it a little bit. People like me aren't as critical as I might have been if he had come back a couple years ago. I'm glad that Rolap and the PGA Tour board found a way to get him back. And they also at the same time gave John Rahm and Bryson the same opportunity. So, you know, I hope that at some point that we get all those guys back. I really miss watching Bryson play on a regular basis. I miss watching John Rahm play on a regular basis. I do. They're great competitors and they're good for the sport. And people say, well, you can just click over and watch live. Look, nothing against the live people. One of my good friends, Sherry Foltz, is a live broadcaster. I love him. He's great. He's great at his job. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy watching it. There's just It's different from how I grew up, and I know that sometimes different is good, and there are a lot of people who like it. It's not my thing. So, all of that being said, I don't think that people are going to heckle Brooks as much as maybe we think that they are. I think everybody's sort of softened to the idea of these big players returning, and it seems like Brooks is handling it well. He said that he needs to extend an olive branch to a lot of folks, and I think that he will. Brooks gets it. He's a smart guy, and he's a business person and he understands the art of entertainment. And I do think he'll be welcomed back, and it's a good move for the tour and for all of us.
Yeah, I think it's good. I agree with you for him coming back just because, I think the world of golf, like you take the major championships, I think it's just better when, the best players in the world are playing in the same tournament. So that's my opinion. But anyway, now I want to talk about you're a host for PGA Tour Live. Just tell me a little bit about, your work in broadcasting and just, some of your favorite things, maybe some of the favorite places you've been to throughout your career, and just what advice would you give to an aspiring, journalist or broadcaster?
Boy, that's a great question. The media landscape has definitely changed since I've been in this career. I started off in a small market in Columbus, Mississippi, and I would shoot my own stuff. And, from high school sports, I was actually in a great location in Columbus. They call it the Golden Triangle. And I got to go as a new sports journalist cover Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Alabama. Like we were literally within, 2 hours of all three of those schools. So I would just say be adventurous, be eager, be willing to move, be willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, now you can do a lot of things online, so that's why I say the landscape has changed. But I tell you what, those experiences for me, I wouldn't trade for anything because, I can say I've covered baseball, I've covered basketball, I've covered women's softball, everything from here to there. And then working in Cincinnati, I got to work, with the Bengals at NFL and flying on their plane to out of town games and away games and being on the field for the Reds covering Major League Baseball. And then to finally, get to Golf Channel and now at the PGA Tour and really focus in on the sport that I grew up playing, that I played in college. It's great to have that background and now be able to sort of hone in on a sport that I know so well. I mean, obviously, having not played baseball or football, I don't understand all of it the way that I do golf. And it's not just from the physical aspect, it's the mental part, it's the preparation, it's everything that goes into it. So, yeah, it's been great. I mean, I tell people all the time, chase your dreams, no matter what they are. The
Mhm.
problem with getting older is I think adults stop dreaming. And I hate that. We need to keep dreaming and keep following our dreams. And, if you're 40 years old and you want to get into broadcasting, go do it. I mean, there are opportunities out there. So find a way. But look, I've been really blessed. I've had doors that have been opened. I've worked with some great people who have been wonderful mentors and friends. And now I try to give back and do that to some younger folks who I work with because, like, there's a lot of talent out there and a lot of passion, and sports continues to unite the world. I mean, in these hard times with politics and, varying personalities, sports still brings us together. So
Yeah.
the more people in it, the better.
Yeah, I really like how you said, finding your passion, like you're passionate about golf, so that helps you with, covering golf, and you have experience, playing golf, and so that helps you with your broadcasting career. So that's great. I wanted to talk about you grew up in Arkansas and you played college golf at the University of Arkansas. So just tell me a little bit about your college experience playing at Arkansas and just, what golf is like in Arkansas, because most of us just know like Stacey Lewis, she played at, college golf at Arkansas, but tell us a little bit about your college golf experience and just, golf in general in Arkansas.
Well, I think a lot of folks also know John Daly. You'd have to go back
Oh yeah.
a little ways, but now his
Yep.
son playing there on the team as well. Yeah, I feel like it's a family. It's a small state. And obviously we don't know everyone, but the golf world is small. And then when you have a state like Arkansas, the golf world becomes even smaller. So, yeah, look, I was, as someone who was born in Fayetteville, where the university is, it was very much an honor to be able to be part of that program and the first scholarship player. The only, and I won't say regret, I try not to have regrets unless I've, really harmed someone or done something wrong. It's just life experiences. But my love for the game in terms of playing competitively by the time I got to college had really subsided. I sort of lost my love for it. I was very burned out. And so from a playing and competitive standpoint in college, I wasn't even where I was as a junior player when I was an All-American. But, look, I can still say that I played for the team. I was part of it. I'm still part of it. The program's great. I follow college golf not only because I covered it at Golf Channel, but I'm close with the program. And Shauna Estes Taylor, who is still the women's head coach, she's been there for, gosh, I don't know, 12, 15 years. She was an assistant when you mentioned Stacey Lewis was there. So there's just been this upward trend of college golf. I mean, you cover it, you talk to a lot of these players and coaches, so you get it. The facilities get better and better. The players are still getting better and better. The talent pool is growing. So it's fantastic. And look, I'm so thankful that I had my hands in it back in the day and that I can still be involved in it. But it's great to follow along and watch the number of people who still get involved in college athletics. And if you're a Razorback fan, it's not just football or basketball. You'll check in on all the sports. So we're all proud of all of our teams, but obviously I'm especially proud of what the women's golf team has done over the years and continues to do.
Yeah, I'm sure you have to be proud of what, Sean is doing. And Maria Jose Marin won the individual title, the national championship last year. Maria
She's a
Fossey's won an
great
individual
player. She's
title.
phenomenal. She's a little
She has
spark plug
a,
too.
yeah, she's very short, but she has a big game.
She sure does.
Yeah. So next, I wanted to talk about the LPGA Tour and just further exposure for the women's game because for most golf fans they can name Nelly Korda, but they can't name the other big names. Gino Titicul. Like I just take my family for example. They can name a lot of the PGA Tour players, but they can't name I give them they can name Nelly Korda, but outside of that they can't name Brooke Henderson or Charlie Hall or Minjee Lee or some of these big LPGA Tour players. So just tell me about the LPGA Tour and just how us as golf fans or who cover golf, just what we can do to give more exposure to the women's game.
Well, I think first of all, we need more people like you. So all credit to you. I know that you're very passionate about women's golf and sort of spreading the word. That's great. Like there are a lot of things. I have talked for a long time about the need for broadcast to be better, to have more live coverage, more cameras. I will say I have to give credit to the new commissioner. Craig Kessler's coming in and, he's making a lot of these things happen. I'm looking forward to seeing how the broadcast changes this year with the additional cameras, guaranteeing live coverage, not tape delay coverage, and really working with Golf Channel to try to improve that. I think it's three things, Gavin. I think it starts with broadcast. I think that they have to get better golf courses. A lot of a
Okay.
lot of people will tune in just to watch a golf course. I mean, the Augusta National Women's Amateur is a great example. When you think about the hype surrounding that event, no disrespect to the young women who play, they're exceptional. But the majority of those people are watching it because it's a chance once again to see Augusta National, either on TV or in person. Obviously, I don't think that the LPGA will be playing Augusta National anytime soon, but there are a lot of golf courses out there that really the men have outgrown. You think of Marion, you think of Cypress Point, that may be a reach, but still, these opportunities to get on some of these great venues around the country that people know and that they're going to tune in just to see the golf courses. So I think that that's the second part of the equation, get them on better golf courses that show better on TV. And then the third part of it is the entertainment value from the players aspect. I really think that there is a responsibility with these players to make it more entertaining for their fans. I really do. I would love to get these players in a room and show them a highlight reel of some of the best celebrations and reactions on the PGA Tour. You're not going to get it every week. Chris Gotterup isn't an overly excited type of guy, but you still have a lot more than I think what you see on the LPGA Tour week in and week out. I know you watch the LPGA, so you'll get this. Megan Kang is phenomenal. She's a
Yep.
great watch. Charlie Hull is a great watch, has a ton of personality. And I think that we just need to encourage that out there and make these players realize that, look, you're out there to play good golf, but you're also out there as an entertainer. And I think that the best athletes in the world, they get that in their own way. And I think we've just got to up the entertainment value on the LPGA
Yeah,
Tour.
definitely. So finally, I just wanted to talk about my final question. Just tell me about some of your favorite things, about golf and just, covering golf as a broadcaster. Just what have been some of your favorite things?
Oh boy, that's a great question. Obviously, when Tiger was making his comeback in 2018 and 2019, Tiger and I grew up playing junior golf together.
Okay.
And to see to see him get back to the top of his career was just something special. And I was working at Golf Channel at the time, so I was out there for some of it. And, he and I got to sort of reconnect and revisit a lot of those old memories and sort of what was driving him in that moment. And it was special to be able to watch that and to watch what he did at Augusta National in 2019, what he did at East Lake late 2018. I mean, those are all really special moments. But I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours about things that have meant the most to me. And I think to be able to be a part of it has meant a lot because of my love for the game and the long history that I have in the game. I mean, I care about this sport, and it's not just the Tiger Woods stories or the Nelly Cordas, winning these great big events. Golf is filled with stories of people making comebacks. I mean, we're looking at, stories week in and week out. People have come back from injury, people who have been journeymen and journeywomen on tour, never won, and then all of a sudden they break through and they're in the winner's circle. So, it's sort of a mixed bag between, those great moments from your superstars and then the stories of just the person chasing their dreams and not giving up on their dreams and finally getting there and seeing the emotion and all of the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into this career defining moment. So there's just, like we all know, we get to play it. We're a part of it. Golf is part of our lives. It's life changing. We're blessed to be a part of the game. And, I'm grateful that even though I don't have to compete anymore, that I still get to be a part of it at a very high level.
Mhm.
And I have a ton of gratitude for that. Every time I step in the PGA Tour studios, it never is lost on me how fortunate I am to be involved in this game that we all love at this level. And it's great. And it's just getting better. More doors are opening, more tournaments are taking place, broadcasts are expanding. So it's a really good time to be involved in the sport.